Hello everyone, how's it going? Elliot here and welcome to the Retro Future. Today I'm going to be building my custom 2021 Game Boy Advance mod. Super excited. Massive thank you to Retro Modding for sending me all the parts, and a huge thank you to iFixit for sponsoring this video. Big thank you to iFixit for sponsoring this video. I've been using iFixit tools for several months and it's by far the highest quality toolkit I've ever used. The specific toolkit I have is called the Pro Tech Toolkit and has everything you could possibly imagine. It's pretty pricey, but the quality speaks for itself. If you want to get into repairs, check out ifixit.com/retrofuture and there will be a toolkit there to suit your needs. I personally like the look of the Minnow, which is $14.99 and comes with everything required to take apart a Game Boy. Now let's get into the video. So the Game Boy Advance I'm going to be using for this mod was donated to me by my friend Theo, and as you can see, it's pretty foul. But don't worry, because most of it will be going in the bin. Spare parts drawer, although it does work right now, we will need to give it a good clean to ensure it works long into the future. To start with, I will remove the tri-wing and Phillips screws from the back. After that, we can lift off the back and remove the screws holding down the motherboard. We need to gently unhook the ribbon cable and remove the motherboard. Whack everything else into a box and shove it on eBay. For this mod, I will be installing a bunch of stuff provided to me by Retro Modding. We'll be using the funny playing IPS screen, a new replacement shell which has been pre-trimmed by Retro Modding to accept the screen with no worries, as it is larger than the original one. I'll be using a glass screen lens, some new orange buttons, and also an amp mod to boost the sound. And I'll finish it off with Retro Modding's USB-C rechargeable battery. Now it's time to give this thing a clean. I'll be using some IPA and a paintbrush, and I'll channel my inner Picasso to scrub away Theo's skin cells and food remnants. Good grief, that is rank. Now let's take this Pro Sound chip and tin up all the points. I forgot to ask for a new speaker, which is available on their site, so I'll be using the original one. I'll leave a link to each mod I use below so that you can find a written tutorial on their website to make this a bit easier for you if you plan to do these mods. After all the wires are soldered, I covered it in Kapton tape and soldered it to the board. Now, despite following the tutorial, I managed to solder a wire to completely the wrong place, and it ended up blowing a fuse on the Game Boy. I didn't spot this until the whole thing was put back together, so make sure you triple check as you go. The IPS screen is fairly simple to install. If you're not confident soldering, you can skip the Pro Sound mod and just install the IPS screen and battery mod, both of which don't require soldering. The only thing is, if you don't solder, you won't have the control of the brightness on the IPS screen. If you're going to solder, then it's 3 wires, one to the select test point on the motherboard, and one to each point of the left and right trigger button. After that, it's just a case of wrestling the whole thing together and putting on the glass screen lens. So there we go, that is the Game Boy complete. I'm really happy with how this thing has turned out. I think it looks absolutely stunning. The two main things that really make up this mod are the IPS screens and the battery mod. To be perfectly honest, they're the only ones that I would say are a necessity. It just is so nice to have a rechargeable battery in there, and the fact that it's USB-C is fantastic. There's an on and off switch which you can turn off and on. I don't need to specify that. So that's really convenient. And yeah, very minimal effort required to fit both of those things. If you buy a pre-trimmed shell and yeah, just whack everything together if you don't know how to solder. The total price, around $200, depending on how much you get your Game Boy Advance for. So $200 is going to get you a Game Boy that will be future-proof. Realistically, a lot of things have changed over the past couple of years with Game Boy mods, and this really is the peak. I would say these screens are absolutely unbelievable, and they are so easy to install. And obviously, the battery mod is USB-C, which is the most recent battery or just charging input method. And it's about as big as a battery as you're going to get in here at the moment. So really, really perfect. Just to finish it off, you could get an EverDrive, a multi-cart, or something like that. I've got a little flash cart. This one's made by Crix. He's got quite a few different ones. These things can be quite expensive, but they are exceptionally good. And that will just finish it off. It means you can bring all your games with you at once. So that is really cool. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, some of you might have done, this is a Space World themed Game Boy. So it's kind of like a prototype. This is actually a development prototype flash cartridge, and I just thought that looks really nice together, and that's how I will display it. There's no game on here, unfortunately, but yeah, let's play a little bit of Mario Super Circuit and check out the new speaker mod. So this is about as loud as a Game Boy normally is, and that's how loud this one is. Incredibly loud. It's not a necessity, I would say, but it is very nice. Sometimes Game Boys can be really, really quiet, and this just sounds unbelievable. It's probably too loud. Like, you're probably never going to need to actually play it at full volume. The IPS screen as well is just excellent, and it's about the only screen that I can actually record on the top camera and be able to fully see the screen, because the viewing angles are unbelievable. And the colours as well. Just stunning. I've got no excuses to be bad this time. That's a treat. I'm third. I'm second. I'm third again. I'm fourth now. I'm third. I'll take third. I'll take third. There we go. That is the 2021 Game Boy Advance Ultimate build. There are a few other things that you can do, like LED mods and other various things that just really aren't that important. Obviously still are nice to have. Game Boy Advance Accelerator if you want to do that. Check out Retro Modding. They've got everything you could possibly imagine. And again, a massive thank you to iFixit. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!